town pump it up 소리 질러 everybody 믿음에 맞춰야 you got it.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Wonderful Beauty.
Thank you guys for joining us again. Today's gonna, I say this every episode, that today's gonna be a special episode.
It's always a special episode.
It's always a special episode, but we have a couple of things that are special about this one. It's not gonna be as emotional, hopefully, as our last episode, but
Right.
and they did
They
did his live, I think, the same day that he was released.
Most of them have done, well, not, I don't know how Monster X did theirs, but looking what they did with Jin and J-Hope from BTS, they pretty much did the same thing. They had like the welcome ceremony, then literally the next, like that same night, they decorate the room and they just did a live right away. Yeah.
Well, because I know he had his live, and then Monster X also had a live, I think, the next day.
Yeah, I think so.
I know that he was excited because he did the Aspa Whiplash Challenge, and you know Jew Honey loves his Aspa.
And he did a lot of challenges, actually. Did you see the one where it was all of the Monster X members that's pouring out the orange caramel Shanghai Romance? Oh my god.
I saw that when I woke up yesterday, and I was like, I got emotional because it's like, man, I didn't realize how starved I was for Monster X content. Because again, they're my ultimate group, so I definitely miss them. Yeah,
and then you're pretty much seeing them all coming back together, like with more members coming back. You're just like, yes.
Yeah, so Kihyun comes back next month. So the only person we're waiting on is Chicken Run. He gets out in May, but I know that Shonu did say that they will be having a comeback this year, and because it's their 10th anniversary, they are going to go bigger and harder than they ever have before.
Looking forward to that, really. I'm so excited.
I am too. Oh, yeah.
All right, and then the next big one, I keep mentioning them. GOT7, they're now in full promo mode right now. So they're on Dingle Music. They were on one of the K's, one of their like interviews type thing about their albums and how, you know, asking questions, answering them and everything. They already did their dance relay. They're already doing music shows. Whole album, amazing. I love it because it's pretty much a collection of each member being in their own, like, under different companies, or they say they have different music styles. They contributed one song that they produced and they all sung it, that's
really cool.
That's really, really cool. So you can hear each style of each different member and then how the other members are singing it. So that's what I love about it. It's like a little collection of GOT7 doing their own thing, but coming back together.
I'll have to listen to it because on first listen, I didn't particularly like Python, but I've also come to the realization I don't think I'm the biggest GOT7 fan. Like, I'm a casual listener, but I think because I came in from Jackson's solo work,
I see.
His stuff is such a different sound than what we get from GOT7, especially because he does do a lot more Chinese influences. Because in case you guys didn't know, he's Jackson Wang from China.
Everyone's dream and fan fiction.
Right.
But yeah, no, this is more of I can tell that JB had more influence with Python, but it reminiscence back to like the GOT7 sound that they had back then. But I did tell you that I think you actually was like older GOT7, like beginning of GOT7 than the newer GOT7, in my opinion.
Yeah, because we both agreed that we weren't the biggest fan of their re-debut, I guess you could call it. Neither one of us really liked Nah. I don't even remember Nah, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't remember Nah either, but it did feel rush before they all started like doing their own thing, military service and all that stuff too. So I kind of
and then Jackson's got his own production company, so he's been touring and doing all that stuff. So it makes sense that JB was probably like, no, guys, let's hurry up, let's get in the studio, let's do this real quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, let's just shout out to JB for being like the best lawyer in all of K-pop.
He is a king.
He is. He got their name back, he got all their songs back, and got their socials back. Like, man's a genius.
I know. What a man. Just what a man.
And then the other really big thing, because it's kind of been a slow week, I guess you could say, is that Minnie of G-Idol released her solo.
Yeah, she did. It's a very cute concept, and I love that they finally give Minnie a spotlight for this because she's one of the best vocalists for a female in the
Right.
industry, but she keeps getting overshadowed. Um, so I'm really glad that she finally gets to release one because I was very surprised in order of like G Idol coming out with solos. Sohyun doing it is a given because she's the leader, the producer of the group, all these things. She can do whatever the heck she wants. What was surprised is that um Yuki getting it before anyone else, but I think it's only because she's a more popular member. I could be wrong, but Minnie,
That makes
it makes
sense.
sense. It makes more sense for Minnie to come out with a solo album. I'm so glad she gets the spotlight for it this time around.
Yeah, it's kind of like back to what we discussed last episode, that Hyunwoo is the moneymaker of Astro, so it makes sense that Fantagio is focusing mostly on him at the time.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I do love Minnie doing all these challenges. She did her challenge with Bam Bam of GOT7 because they're both Thai, which is really cool. So I'm hoping she can do more with other Thai members of the K-pop industry as well. That'd be really nice to see. So maybe
you know,
Lisa? Maybe
I was
Lisa?
gonna say, Lisa's gonna get on it because
I mean,
Lisa.
Lisa! Because they're best friends. No one knows this. They think that Minnie just happens to be like 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 she went into it's like the same thing as Mingyu and Jungkook being best friends.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, they're using the famous. I was like, no, they're actually friends. Like pre-debut, they were friends and they know each other because they're the same age and all this other stuff. So it's not just them using each other. No, they're actually friends. They go out, they have fun, they eat, whatever. So
Well, it's the same thing with like Lisa and Bam Bam.
yeah.
But also think about the fact that there's not as many Thai idols out there, so it makes sense that they would gravitate towards their own people and build those bonds.
Yeah, because I believe that Bam Bam and Lisa were one of the first few Thai members to debut, and they actually did train together, and they were in a dance crew even before training in Korea. And people were
That's
like,
really cool.
"Oh, yeah, I know." And then they were like, "Oh no, they're this." I was like, "No. They're best friends. They're siblings. All right, they're right."
So that's really the big news of everything that's happened this week. I'm sure there's been a lot else going on, but you and I have had very, very busy weeks, so it's been difficult to keep up with things.
Yeah, the stock show in Fort Worth, Texas have started, and I'm tired. My restaurant is literally 10 minutes away from the stock show area. It is busting out with business, and I love it and I hate it. It's stressful.
Yeah, and then down here, we finally caught up with winter, so we had our little snow and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but that huge blizzard that happened through like Houston and New Orleans, crazy. That was wild.
It went all the way to Florida.
Yeah, I know. And I was just like, what is happening?
But not big news, but as of recording today with this episode, because today is the 25th here, 26th in Korea, we have two very special birthdays today. The first one is, of course, Monsta X's I Am. So today is I Am Day.
Yay.
And then we also have Moonbin. Today is Moonbin's 27th birthday. We actually, for the first time, I think ever, this might be wrong, someone's going to pop up and be like, no, you did this already. We actually released 2 episodes this week. So we released my birthday episode on Monsta X, and then we also released our Astro episode today on the 25th to celebrate Moonbin Day.
Which is wonderful. Yay!
We also have another very, very, very special birthday. It's not today, but it's actually on Tuesday. So Tuesday is actually Ann Day.
Woo!
She will be joining me in the mid-30s club on Tuesday.
In 3 days.
Which is wild to think, and this is one of my favorite things to tell everyone, that like they're like, oh, you've been friends for 20 years. I'm like, well, it's really hard not to be when you're only 25 days apart.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like we can relate to each other super easy.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, and it just came in today finally, but TJ sent a package.
Yes, which UPS, we were going to fight because you said this was going to come on Thursday.
Yeah, and it did not. And I was like, worried. And I was like, well, maybe it'll come on Friday. It did not. Meticulously opening this.
I spent most of my week packaging stuff, so.
All right. Okay. Bubble wrap. All right. Maybe I'll do this one first. The one that you wrapped up here. Things falling. Oh. Oh, I see albums. 17 album.
Part of me wants to play the happy birthday song that Chicken Butt plays whenever there's a birthday.
Oh yeah, right. They kept playing it over and over. Funny story, when we were out drinking that night for TJ's birthday weekend type thing, we went to this Korean bar that's called Dongo, but it translates to chicken butt, which is hilarious. But yeah, their thing is that like if you say it's someone's birthday, and I'm surprised they don't check this, but check IDs to make sure it is your birthday and not just taking advantage of it. They pretty much sing happy birthday to you over the intercom. They have like a YouTube video of it. Then they bring out like a choco pie with a candle on it, and they actually pour shots into your mouth directly. And I'm just like, yeah, people definitely should take advantage of that, but hopefully people are being honest about it. Because but TJ, being the person he is, he doesn't really like much attention on him. So I flat out told Kevin, I was like, you can't do that to him. You can do it to any of the boys, but you can never do that to TJ. And Kevin's like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. And then they start playing it, and they were heading our direction, and I looked at my husband like, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
No, 100%. So you and I were pretty good at that point. I think because it was because they were playing 17 videos, and we're like, okay. No, it was right
just
after
just vibing.
It was right after Big Bang, before 17, and they started coming over, and we both whipped around, and I looked at Kevin like, I told you I'd punch you in the throat. But luckily, Kevin was just playing a prank on one of his boys.
Yeah.
And because he was about to look around to find out.
Yeah, exactly. But we did do it to his friend that is in the military, and he's being stationed in Japan as of right now. They finally officially moved over there. So it was kind of more of a goodbye gift to him.
Which apparently, you said that they got him last time y'all hung out there too?
Yeah, we did. Which is funny because his birthday is in November. So hopefully they don't listen to this. 17 albums.
Yes, open them up, please.
Okay. God, yeah.
Because I know you had those albums, so the albums are not the fun part. Yes.
Should I look for the PCs or?
There are no PCs.
There's no PCs? Okay, cool. Awesome. I'll do this.
I ordered it off of Macari.
Oh, okay, cool. I forgot how they opened this one. Oh, this way.
But there is a small little thing of some freebies that the seller of that album sent to you.
Now to add them to the collection.
I wasn't sure if you had them.
No, I don't have any sign of those. So the earliest signed things I got would be the best of album.
Okay. See, listeners, so my original plan was to get her the Dino Artist Made collection, like how she got me Do-Up-Young. So it was actually funny because after we recorded my birthday episode, I was talking to the kiddo and I was walking around.
Yeah.
And I see this wine glass and I'm like, that's weird. And I asked the kiddo, who was barely awake at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, is this the Dino one? And they go, yeah. And I'm like, damn it, Anne, I told you not to buy anything.
I was being girl boss.
Which I have to ask Dino, why is your wine glass so damn long?
Yeah, I know. I was shocked that it arrived in one piece because the stem was so long and thin. Do you see how thin it was? I was like, because I can't use it.
I was trying to figure it out because I could tell it's a red wine glass just by looking at the actual glass.
The shape of it,
But I was like, Dino, like, is this like Woozy trying to give Mingyu wine? Like, what's going on?
What is happening? I know. It was so... Yeah, but I feel like that's more for display than anything now. Like, I'm afraid to use it because what if I actually get really tipsy and clumsy and just knock it over? Yeah.
That's perfectly valid.
Yeah, so that's more of a... It's more of a display from now on. All right, but now I'm opening this one. Stickers. Oh, I see the one that we're doing an episode off today, so I might as well put it out. And then, ooh, these are nice stickers.
Yes. So spoiler, I guess. Granted, I guess we had a warning before you guys signed on. We will be doing B.A.P today,
Yes.
which is both of us probably rank them in our top 5 groups.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which, in case you skipped the opening, this will be a very mature episode. We will be focusing on things such as violence,
assault,
things like that.
mental health. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, definitely mental health. And I guess we should go ahead and state. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. And then we got pins here. So many pins.
Yes. So we got this from a girl on Facebook. I forget her name. Well, you have her shop name right there. But I kind of started
adding on more and more.
Yeah, I have mine here. I started doing a little board that I'm slowly working on. I used to carry around. No, I still carry it around, but I have an SF9 tour bag. I wasn't able to see them, but I got merch from them. And I used to put all my light stick pins on there, but I was running out of space. So I was like, oh, it might be time to actually get a board.
Yeah, like actually use them. All right, and then this one.
I think those are the freebies from... No, there's a couple of things in there, but there are some freebies from the girl who gave you the 17th Heaven album.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. Let's see. We'll go through it one by one. Oh, this is cute.
Yeah, I told her you were a trinket girl because no, it was the FML girl. She was like, "Oh, there's." She goes, "Oh, the album's got a little damage on the back. It's got like some dust scratches." And I said, "Oh, it's fine. I really am here for the Dino. It's for my best friend's birthday." And she goes, "Oh my god, thank you for telling me. I'll throw in some freebies." And I was like, "Oh, she's a trinket girl, so she'll love it."
Yeah, I love trinkets. Trinket head. This is when they were in Lollapalooza in Berlin, and he was having this fun day with his manager. Of course.
Those are from me.
Of course. Why? Why be to my S-Cubes thing? Also, S-Cubes in Singapore and Philippines, how dare? That's what I have to say.
It's been a fun week to watch Anne struggle this week with all the S-Cubes wrecking.
Because first I saw Joshua and I was like, oh, majestic as always. What a beautiful boy. Then I saw Dino with his new hairstyle. And I was like, yes, it's almost back to doing the Dino Attica, which is my favorite era. The black hair and like a little bit of a longer length, so it's easily to style whatever they want to do. Beautiful. The freaking S-Cubes.
Yeah, Anne got to wake up to a wonderful video of him pumping his chest up. And she was like, too early, haven't had coffee yet.
I even looked at my husband and went, no, I'm married.
And again, guys, she didn't say that about Mingyu or Dino or Joshua. That was about S-Cubes.
Damn. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I have a couple more things because I keep forgetting to put things in your box, but
I mean, I'm the same way too, because sometimes I'll find like random PCs. So I was like, oh, do you have this? Do you have that? So I've already started like a small little box for you. So here we go, another care package.
Put my light stick and my Wanwu banner in there.
I know, right? I need to remember that too. I need to find a bigger box now. I just bought some things from Amazon, so I'll probably...
It's really funny, guys, because we send care packages constantly back and forth.
Oh, yeah,
and,
always.
I'm really bad about saving boxes, especially because I started doing large goes.
Yeah.
But Anne always... Anne's struggle is always like, oh, I keep finding stuff. Crap, my box isn't big enough. Damn it, I got to get a bigger box.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, this box isn't big enough. And it's like just constant like daily reminders. I'm like, you just need to start buying shipping supplies.
Yeah, I probably should, but no, it's okay. I'll just buy more stuff on Amazon and then use it. That, or I'm just going to have to resort to using like those boxes that we get from our inventory suppliers, but sometimes they do smell like fish. So I was just like, maybe not, so...
No, I get that. And you can also get free shipping supplies from the post office, but the shipping to send that stuff out is ridiculous.
Yeah, and then most of these stuff that I sent you, it's very light in weight, so it's like, it's not worth it at that point. I might as well just wait until I find a bigger Amazon box and just ship it all together. And
no, I feel that. I just had that problem yesterday because I'm sending out the DK magazines, and
Yeah.
I got a whole bunch of their priority boxes,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like $20 for shipping, but I used pirate ship, so it was $16. I was like, I don't feel comfortable charging them that. That's
That's
more than the
still a
magazine was.
lot. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
still a lot. I forgot what. Oh, here it is. So this is what K-pop mom used for my Mingy birthday
Mhm.
final thing. I don't know where she got this box from, but look at this. I think it's a good size for the magazine. If I just
Oh yeah, well that's a vinyl box.
yeah, but here's the thing though: the vinyl itself for Mingy is like maybe like a third of it. It's like it was so small, but I thought it was a good size. No, I actually have it right here. Ooh, please
Bear with.
bear with. Here's my man Mingy, but no, compared to this box here,
Interesting.
like yeah. I was surprised when she sent it because I remember seeing someone posting the Mingy vinyl that it was small. So I was surprised when she shipped it in this like bigger size box. Maybe something to look into.
That's true. Which, if you are an 18 and you're looking for someone to get stuff from, K-pop Mom 2020 is the best AT's GOM out there.
Oh yeah, she is super great. And is she local to DFW? I forgot
No,
she
she's
is or not.
in Georgia.
Oh, that's what it was, Georgia. I knew she was somewhere in the South. But people in DFW do already know her. She's so well known in the
Yeah, oh
DFW
yeah.
area. Yeah.
I got my son wallet from her, his birthday kit, which I was looking for. I guess it's not over here. It must be on my bar.
All
And
good.
I actually just got a whole bunch of photo cards from her, and she helped me get the Dreamers album, which is like my favorite Japanese song. And
Nice.
she's very, very reasonable with her prices.
Oh yeah, she is, and she gives ample amount of updates. And for her being a
Oh yeah.
mom too, like props to her, man.
Yeah, she messaged me actually the other day because I bought a whole bunch of Jongho from her. And she
Yeah.
goes, I'm really sorry about the delay, blah, blah, blah. I said, you are doing Mingy and Jongho birthday kits. I completely understand.
Yeah,
My
it's a
best friend
lot.
is in your go, so it's fine. She's one of
Yeah,
the sweetest women ever. So if you're
I
looking
know.
for AT stuff, she always
Go to her.
hosts birthday kits and merch. So please go to K-pop Mom 2020 on IG.
Oh yeah, definitely. Props to her, and I'm so happy I finally got Mingy. It was so good. All those photos. All right, so let's move to the main focus of this episode, which is B.A.P. B.A.P.
Yeah, so funnily enough, this was actually one of the first episodes that we wanted to do because when we were talking about actually like doing this is when out of nowhere they were like, "Hey guys, by the way, BAP's back."
And I'm
And
like, he's back. Let's go.
and what we were originally going to do today was we were going to watch their Man on the Moon documentary. But that was just about them coming back, and so we figured, no, we got to start with the history first.
Oh yeah.
And then go from there, which this is going to be fun because, pardon me, this is another one of my late bloomer groups. I actually got into them when they disbanded. And I actually got into them through Jungkook's solo music. Shout out again to my friend Hollow, who introduced me to Astro and now to B.A.P. And I know for Anne, this is one of her favorite groups of all time. So
Yeah, this is like one of those groups where I followed very closely when they first debuted, and then just has a special place in my heart. I obviously have previous relationships, but the guy I was with at the time when B.A.P was on their peak, he was also a huge B.A.P fan, and that's how we pretty much first bonded is through B.A.P. So, and then we were able to get super lucky and attend their concert, one of their first concerts tour in the US. And this is when they were big, but not super big, because again, K-pop wasn't big in general. It was still kind of weird. But when they came to Grand Prairie and they performed in what used to be the Verizon Theater, it was such a special moment because you obviously you see a lot more K-pop fans there who likes the same group as you do, but their stage presence was beyond words considering that they were still kind of new at the time. I believe it was only within 1 or 2 years of them debuting. And then they made it so much fun. And I specifically remember, so I was sitting kind of like there's 3 of us. It was just me, my boyfriend at the time, and his best friend. And the one that was next to me was a teenage boy, can't be older than probably 16 or 15, and then his dad. Now, this dad looks like he did not want to be there, but he's obviously babysitting because the son is underage and all this other stuff. He doesn't know what kind of crowd this could be, whatever. The whole time when they were performing, it was like the kind of the more cutesy ones for a little bit to hype it up, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the dad's like, "Why are we here? I don't get this whatsoever." But once they hit to like the more rock songs and everything on their B-sides, the dad got really into it, and I could hear their conversation. Even like when they were talking, I could hear their conversations, and the dad was like, "Oh, so what's this group's name is now?" Like he was actually connecting to it. So that
That's
memory
really cute.
itself, yeah. So that memory itself was super sweet because now I can tell this dad, he's more into like, like Metallica, Deftones,
Oh,
maybe Queen. I don't know, but he had that look, and I was just like, that's so cool that B.A.P has this vast amount of genre that they can do, and they bonded over more rock music. Yeah.
Well, think about it. Jamin from NCT literally became an idol
Mhm.
because he loved B.A.P and Jungkook so much.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because, NCT is nowhere close to being that style of genre, but just getting inspiration from your seniors of idols is
Yeah.
amazing because it's their specific style and sound and whatever they bring into the K-pop community.
It's actually, I can only imagine what them as a full group is like because I got the pleasure of seeing Jungkook 2 years ago at a club in Austin, and it was great because Jungkook's style is very much like early B.A.P because he's more of a rapper than a vocalist,
Right.
and it was funny because Jungkook doesn't do the English. He does not do the English, and
He's not the English speaker of the group, but Zella was, which was really funny.
It was funny because the only words he knew in English were sexy, lady, baby, and swear words.
Which is pretty much the basis of how you should learn a new language. Learn the cuss words first.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was really cool because I had just been dabbling in B.A.P at the time, but I'd gotten much more into Jungkook's solo stuff, which, side note, as of this week, I actually just completed my Jungkook solo collection.
Yeah.
If I could, never mind. I'm not gonna find it. It's all the way down. And,
I feel like it's a milestone. We'll do it.
yeah. I got his debut album as a soloist, so that completes my solo stuff with him. But there were so many Motoki light sticks there, which at this time, guys, they had not re-released the Motoki light sticks yet. So these
those are OGs.
Yeah.
OGs. I love that. I wish I still have my Motoki, but I actually did try to search for it. I actually think I sold it because
Oh no.
Yeah, because I did hit that lull where I was spending more time at the restaurant, and I really thought that was it. Like, I'm going to be done with the K-pop community. So I think I actually did sell it off at one of the vending things that I've done way back then when I had my charm shop. I think I did sell it. Now that I'm thinking
that would make
about
sense because you were trying to figure out where all your albums went because you were going to send them to me,
yeah,
and then you
I
couldn't
can't
find them.
I couldn't find them. So yeah, all I found was my 2 p.m. and Beast ones because that's the one that I said I really wanted to keep because those were my ult groups. The rest I was selling because I remember I used to have like a GOT7 light stick, like their original one, plus their plushies, like these special plushies they got. I can't find them. So I guess I really did sell them all off. I'm so sad now because B.A.P's back.
I was going to say, I have a feeling, imagine young Anne looking at you like right now being like, I hate you so much.
I know, and I'm over here like, you need the monies. And young Anne will be like, you right.
But yeah, so I'm going to actually let you take the mantle on this one because, not the mantle, I'm going to let you take the what is the phrase I'm thinking of?
Brain fart. Take the reins?
Thank you. I'm going to let you take the reins on this one because this is really your element. Because, like I said, I got into them late. Say that again?
I said I've been there since day one.
Oh yeah, no, I got into them like, let's see, 2 years ago, so they were
Yes.
already long disbanded by the time I got to them.
Right, exactly. But we do want to give a warning if you did not see the opening ones. Trigger warning. We're going to talk a lot about mental health in a way that's a little bit on the darker theme. We talk about suicide tendencies a little bit. There's some sexual assault allegations as well. Domestic violence.
B.A.P was a much more mature group than what was going on during that time. So
Yeah,
we
and
don't have any.
I'll give them props to the fact that they are willing to kind of speak more openly about it, because Korea, them being a country as a whole and their culture, they don't really talk about mental health the way that B.A.P was able to do.
Right.
All right, so B.A.P first debuted under TS Entertainment on January 26, 2012.
We did not plan this originally. I literally messaged Ann yesterday. It's like, oh my god, Sunday's B.A.P day. Funny how we decided to do B.A.P today.
Coincidental, because I honestly forgot when they debuted, like their actual date. I just remember it being 2012. So they debuted with their single album Warrior, and the group is actually an acronym. It's supposed to be B.A.P. But it stands for Best Absolute Perfect. And their fandom name is Baby, which also stands for Baby Always Behind You.
This is one of the dumbest fandom names. And I know that there are really dumb ones out there, but as far as groups that I follow, I think this is one of the dumbest fandom names. The only two that I think beat it is Vamps, which is VAV, and then Tinkerbells, which is K&K. Like,
I'm still surprised about the Tinkerbell. That's hilarious.
Don't even get me started. Like, we have so many cool names out there. We have Revelove, Mon Baby, Fantasy, and the Baby.
The Baby. But at least Baby is like also an acronym, which kind of makes sense, but okay. All right. So in terms of B.A.P being under TS Entertainment, they obviously has disbanded under TS Entertainment. Jungkook and Selo were actually the first ones to leave because of their contract expiration dates, because they were the ones who signed 1 year before the rest of the members, because they pre-debuted technically as solos under TS Entertainment. And it expired in 2018. Then on February 18th, 2019, the B.A.P officially disbanded quietly because people kind of forgot about them. They didn't make this huge thing or whatever because Selo and Jungkook already left. The other four members disbanded because their contract has expired. All right. So there are 6 members under B.A.P, under the B.A.P name, which would be Jungkook, who is the leader and main rapper, Himchan, which is the rapper and sub-vocalist, Daehyun, main vocalist, Yeonjae, lead vocalist, Jungkook, who is the main dancer and lead vocalist, and then Selo, who is the lead rapper, lead dancer, and the maknae of the group. On June 12, 2024, B.A.P announced that they were coming out with a documentary, which is Man on the Moon. And again, it focused on them coming back as a 4-member group. It's not, the history of them or anything like that. It's just them trying to get back together, finding in their busy schedule to come together and come up with this like comeback album, but with only 4 members, because Selo was still in the military and Himchan has officially left under the B.A.P name because of his sexual assault allegations. And hey, at least he owned up to it. It sucks. It sucks that it happened. Terrible for the victims. But at least he owned up to it. It did not lie like some other people who freaking lie until they come up with proofs and they're like, oh yeah, that was me. Yeah, no. Himchan at least owned up to it, so a little bit of respect to him, but no respect at all for those sexual allegations.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and basically say that the two of us, do not condone what he did whatsoever. What he did was horrible. It was a very serious crime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, we do have to mention him because he is part of the group.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, when we're going through the music videos, he is obviously going to be in it. But this is the history of B.A.P as a whole, so.
Yeah. But it's kind of like what we had to do with Beast, that unfortunately they did have a member that was part of Burning Sun.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're talking about the group, you do have to mention him. I think we'll only mention him once or twice more. He does show
Mm-hmm.
up in all the music videos, but again,
Mm-hmm.
we here at Wonderful Beauty absolutely do not condone his behavior and his actions.
So I actually had this conversation, maybe with you, but I definitely had this conversation with my husband. It's about separating the artist from the art.
Correct.
Him Chan as an artist, as a member of B.A.P, did wonderful things. I love what he contributed to the group. Him as a person, don't like him, but I respect him as an artist in the sense of what he has contributed musically. But
Yeah.
again, there's a fine line of that. You have to separate it. And me and my husband had this huge, long conversation about it. It was really cool to see his views of it and my view on it. But we do both agree. Sometimes you do have to separate it. So,
Oh yeah.
oh
It's
yeah,
the same
definitely.
thing that we've gone through in the last couple of years with the Harry Potter series.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. We did have a huge discussion about that. And I think more also what people can also relate to is Chris Brown and his music. His music, obviously, we all know it. You know, he changed our childhoods with it. But then the allegations came out and you're like, that's not cool. But I still like your music.
Yeah, so Him Chan as B.A.P, we're fine with. Him Chan as Kim Him Chan, you karma got you, buddy.
Definitely. Definitely. All right. And then so the 4 members that was left, besides Zello and Himchan, they came out as Bang and June and Yoon and Moon. Which is crazy because that's their last names. And then that's the longest name ever, and I hate it. Because now you're over here going, there's a Bang, there's a Moon, then there's a Yoon, there's a June, there's a what last names are there?
I think we can agree collectively, like as a fandom, we still just call them B.A.P.
Yeah, we still call them B.A.P because it is B.A.P. They debuted under Ma Entertainment, which has been around for many, many years. I did not know this, so I did a little bit of research of it, but it's a very small company. Their new album, Curtain Call, came out in August of 2024.
Which we both have signed copies of.
Woo-hoo!
I know my signature is Jungkook. Who was your signature? Do you know?
I think it was Yeonjae or something like that. I remember it being Yeonjae.
Because I know I gave you my photo card because we have a weird trend now of where you'll pull Jungkook and I'll pull Jungkook and we're like, yeah, take it.
Right. Now this is the part where I will try not to go off on a rant. I have a script in front of me and I'll try to stick to the script because we don't want a 30-minute long rant of Anne being super mad at TS Entertainment. I have feelings about this, okay?
Guys, it's about to get real.
You see this? I have fists up ready to go. I'm ready to fight them.
She's about to pull her hair back and just get ready.
Got my hair tie here. Okay, anyways. All right, so on November 27th, 2014, B.A.P filed a lawsuit against TS Entertainment to cancel their contract, claiming unfair working conditions and profit distribution, which included we translated this over to American money, $9 million.
Jesus.
Which have been earned in the past 2 to 3 years. So this is like promos, concerts, tours, all these things. They did not get paid. You know, I'm sure they also took out, you know, the cost of like production of albums, you know, paying staff, all these things to, you know, create B.A.P, all these things. But the members themselves only got $18,000 per member.
That is only $108,000 out of $9 billion.
Yeah, and think about this as well. How much does an average American earn in a year? Like, on average, maybe 50, 60,000. You're telling me in this past 3 years, you only gave these B.A.P members $18,000 to live on? I'm sure cost of living in Korea is lower than obviously inflation and all these sort of things. That's still not enough. I am pissed at you, TS. Oh my god, I'm going on the rant. And you did my girl's secret wrong too. How dare you? How dare you? Oh god.
She's getting so mad she's turning red. This is hilarious.
Oh my god, I am so pissed because, again, so obviously we don't know about any of these allegations before, right? You're just like in Happy Land. You're like, I love B.A.P. I'm gonna buy their albums. I'm gonna buy their light stick. I'm gonna buy their merch. I'm gonna go to their concert. My concert money just went to TS. It did not go to the boys. So mad. Oh, I wonder if my ex has ever thought about it too when it came out, because this is after we broke up. So I wonder if he was like, God damn it, our monies went to TS. Don't care enough to message him, but you know. Again, and here's the kicker, you guys. Then TS came out with their statement, and they're like, there was no mistreatments of the group. We pay them fairly. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then B.A.P went back and was like, you know what? You're not taking accountability. You're not owning up to this. We were paid unfairly. You know, you could have done all these things. How about this? We're gonna sue you for defamation of character.
Jeez.
So obviously during this time, B.A.P took this long hiatus because they are doing the lawsuit. They obviously can't produce any music because they're under their company and all these other things. I don't know what the settlement was, but on August 1st of 2015, which is about a year later, they reached a settlement and they came out with their 8th EP, Matrix. So glad it worked out. Don't know what the settlement is because I think that's around the time I kind of fell off the K-pop world wagon because I was so busy with the restaurant.
Right.
So don't know about the settlement, but I'm glad they reached a settlement and they were able to produce some music before their contract expired.
Well, they still had, I think they had 3 albums after Matrix, but it still doesn't justify anything. It's a good thing that TS is no longer around because I have a feeling that Anne would probably set the building on fire if she ever walked past it.
Oh, yeah, no. We're going to go to Korea. We're going to see if the sun is still there. And if we start a fire, you're going to be my lookout, okay? You're accessory crime now. And you're just going to...
Hold up. I thought the highest level of our friendship was me standing in an online queue for J-Hope and being dragged to a J-Hope concert. Now it's arson?
Yeah, just J-Hope arson. Which, by the way, you guys, I see J-Hope.
Ma'am, I don't know if there's enough Daikon, Me, You, and Wonbu magazines to justify me being an accessory to arson.
It's okay. Whenever we get to Korea, hopefully by then, 17 has come out with enough stuff for you to bribe you for this.
Oh 20 years of friendship, guys.
You know what you're getting into.
She's the docile one. I'm usually the one who says burn it all.
But when it comes to TS, when they did B.A.P and Secret wrong, I am pissed because you could mistreat groups and members in so many different ways. Being underpaid by that vast amount pisses me off even more in the span of 3 years. They're barely making a living. Like, how did they even survive is what I would like to know. Or is it like they're just constantly in debt with TS? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I would say probably constantly in debt because I'm not going to reveal how much I make because it's not very much. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely more than $18,000 a year.
Yeah. And again, average Americans right now with inflation, I guess, because I don't know how much it would be back in like 2014, but we make about 50 to 60, I say, on average for an average American here. But like, and people still barely make it. I can't even imagine 18,000. That's wild. Makes me so mad. All right, so I'm done with TS now. So let's go into some fun facts.
Do you need a moment to gather yourself?
Let me just punch something or throw my plushies or I don't know, man.
You might want to fix your hair a little bit.
Okay. Ugh, I didn't even look at myself. I'm too busy reading the notes. I'm frazzled by TS.
You were fine until you started throwing your head around, and then it was like, oh, hello.
BK super mad. All right, so fun facts about B.A.P. Some members. Jungkook was actually the first one to be introduced. into under TS Entertainment when they were teasing that they were coming with a new boy group. He was featured in Sun Ji-yeon's, who is a member of Secret, song Going Crazy, which is one of her solo songs. So when he did a feature, people were like, ooh, who's this mysterious guy? All these things. And then right after that, he came out with his own pre-debut solo song, which is I Remember, with Yosef of Beast at the time. Him Chan was actually the second member to be introduced, and he was a MC on Korea's MTV's The Show, which I believe is like a music show type thing. So he was the MC, and people were like, ooh, who's that? Because they're slowly teasing this new boy group. Zello was actually the third member to be introduced, and he was doing this like mini album type thing where he was with Jungkook, and it came out as Bang and Zello, which is hilarious because Zello would never use his last name, but he will always use Jungkook's last name. They came out with the song Never Give Up, which is much more soulful, kind of gives me almost like a Tina Turner vibe, actually. I don't know if you ever listened to that song. It's kind of like that retro song. Yeah, it's really good.
She said the magic words, guys. I have a project to do after this.
I got you homework. More fun facts. Jungkook actually has an identical brother named Yeonam, and he recently got married, so congrats to him.
Yes, and we mean like identical, like...
Oh yeah, sometimes I get confused because I follow both of them on Instagram, and sometimes it'll pop up. I'm like, Jungkook? Yeonam? Yeonam.
Yeah, and it should be stated that Jungkook actually suffers from very severe social anxiety disorder. Which he actually ended up leaving the group towards the end because of it. Yeah. And so I know that there have been a lot of times where, like, because he disappeared from the spotlight, that people will be like, oh my god, look, here's Jungkook doing this. And it's like, no, that's his twin brother, actually.
Yeah. Awkward. You see him with like, a girl. It's just like, nope, that's Yeonam's girlfriend.
Which actually is really funny because with Yeonam just getting married, a lot of people were like, wait, Jungkook got married? What's going on?
Find the family photo where Jungkook's standing off to the side. Daehyun, so this is back when 17 debuted. So 17 debuted in 2015. B.A.P would be like 3 years in of being a group. Daehyun actually bought Seungkwan ribeye when they first debuted, kind of like a congratulatory meal type thing, looking after their juniors, that sort of thing. And then Seungkwan said, oh, I'll pay you back, Hyun, all these things. Daehyun's still waiting for that. Seungkwan, stop being petty. Pay the man back.
Yeah, you're acting like you're not in literally one of the highest selling K-pop groups of all time. Like, come on, dude.
Come on, man. Korean beef. Okay, the worst. Give it to him. Jungkook was a contestant of Peak Time, which people probably know him more from than anything else because he stood out performing 17's Anyone. He did a cover of it, and he did the challenge of that with June. So I obviously knew Jungkook way before. And then when they announced he was at Peak Time, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to watch this, all these things. But it seemed like people were deep diving into B.A.P because of Jungkook being in Peak Time, which is kind of cool. But by that time, they've already disbanded, so kind of awkward.
It's actually a fun fact. So my favorite YouTube reactor is actually Caitlin Benson.
Yeah.
Which, if you guys have not checked her out, she's fantastic.
Wonderful.
She stands a lot of the groups we do, and she is so over the top, especially when her man comes on screen. She's the one who I sent you the video of from the 80s video, where Yunho shows up and she's like, huh, no, what is this? She actually did 2 B.A.P deep dives like what we're doing because of Jungkook being on Peak Time.
Yeah, which is crazy. So I think that's when B.A.P kind of, like, their name became a little bit more out there because of Jungkook, which is really cool. And Fanner obviously won Peak Time, so kudos to them.
I wonder if that is what sparked the inspiration for Jungkook to get the boys back together.
Probably. And also on top of that, Zello was actually a contestant on Street Man Fighter. So that also brought that up as well, and also showcases Zello being one of the best dancers in the K-pop world as well. Because everyone knows Zello for him being one of the fastest rappers in the K-pop industry, but not many know how much of a great dancer he is. I think the rapping kind of overshadows
Yeah.
it. But honestly, I view Cello more as a dancer than a rapper, which we will see in some of the music videos that we have chosen. I focus him more on dancing than rapping, to be
Oh yeah.
honest, because he
Which
gets
is
overshadowed by Jungkook rapping.
it's really cool because up until the point where he was enlisted, he was
Mhm.
doing his fan meets, but they were all dance classes that he personally taught.
I know, and I love that because I think his true passion, like Dino, his true passion is dancing. He's a great rapper and all, but I think dancing is his his golden egg, you know? So
Yeah, which I was reading that he long before he got with TS Entertainment, he'd actually auditioned for many groups.
hmm
I mean, sorry, companies, and they all wanted him because of his dancing ability, but
yeah,
because of his age, which we'll get into later, they
yeah.
didn't want to take the risk on him.
Yeah, which he is one of the youngest one, and I did fail like a what we would call a pedo Nuna way back then. But even then, the age gap. If I was to look at Zello way back then when he first debuted to where I am now, oh yeah, I'm a pedo Nuna. I don't think there was a bigger gap back when, like, if we're doing the timeline back what it was. So, but I still did feel like a pedo Nuna because he was literally a baby back then. It's like Taemin. He was literally a baby. All these back names. All right, yeah. So that's pretty much some fun facts about B.A.P, the history of B.A.P, and how TS. It's okay. It's fine. It's okay. Anyway, so now we're gonna look at their music videos. Woo!
So we're going to do something very similar that we did with Beast. Like we mentioned, Jungkook. Jungkook and Zella both had something before BAP, but we're
Mm-hmm.
actually only going to look at Jungkook's solo.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, One, because this video would be 4 hours long, and Astro literally before I trimmed down Astro, it was literally 2.5 hours long.
Woo!
I think Astro's actually the longest episode, clocking in at 99 minutes.
Oh my god! But we do yap a lot.
We do. But I want to say between solos and all that, this is probably the best known one.
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to be his I Remember, which we did mention that this also has Anne's Man on the backtracks.
Mm-hmm.
So this came out a year before BAP debuted back in 2011, which is
Mm-hmm.
wild to think about because that's when you and I turned 21. So,
We started
which,
drinking.
yeah, which Jungkook would have been the same age because Jungkook's only 2 months younger than us.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
is really nice, I will say, because we tend to stand younger idols, and it's just like, ugh.
Oh, people.
Yeah. But this was a year before BAP officially debuted. This song showcases an emotion of love, loss, and nostalgia with a very R&B and rap melody. So as we already mentioned, Jungkook is very much more of a rapper than a vocalist.
Mm-hmm.
But this also does feature Yang Yosab from Beast, which gives it
Mm-hmm.
a very soulful sound, while also giving fans an unexpected collaboration from two artists from completely different companies. Because
Mm-hmm.
back then, and we had a big discussion when I first got into K-pop, because I was like, why don't they just do a collab between BTS and Blackpink? And you're like, we don't do that. We don't intermingle our companies. So
Yeah.
so you'd have an artist from TS who is not known and an artist from Cube
It
coming
was
together.
big, like
Yeah.
massive big. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fun fact: this music video also features the actor Park Seo-joon, who is famous for everything. But
Everything, literally.
he was in Itaewon Class, my
Mhm.
favorite drama, What's Wrong with Secretary Kim,
Yes.
and he was recently in The Marvels as a lead character.
That's right. That's right.
So not only does this feature him, but this was actually his first foray into the entertainment industry. He had not done a single drama yet. This was actually a year before his first ever drama.
Which is wild because I remember his acting in this was very intense. So I think maybe that just kind of helped a little bit in getting the roles
It-
that he got, probably.
It's funny because I don't know if you remember, but while we were waiting in between getting ready to go out for my birthday, we watched this video and I mentioned that and you're like, no, that's not him. And you literally paused it and like slowed back and you're like, oh my God, that is him.
because he was not known back then.
Yeah.
So and then I obviously don't watch the music videos after past its time. So now I'm watching again. I'm like, that's weird. Oh
Yeah.
no.
And it doesn't help that there's not because of the intensity of the video, there's not a lot of shots of just his face because there's so much going on.
Yeah, there was so much going on. You're also kind of like processing it. You're listening to the music. I'm pretty sure I did blank out, but I did remember seeing Love Jungkook, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can vibe with this type of feel. So. Very bottom.
I know we say this every episode, but he has not aged a bit.
No. But also, like, I feel so bad. See, the girl's an actual actress, but I forgot who it was. Which just looked more into it.
This is so different than what I know him from. I love that it's super, super intense, and then here comes Yosab, just like with that drop.
Mm-hmm. Yosab has that voice, that more like smooth, almost soulful in his tone.
Yeah. I will say this is a much better feature for Yosab, where he's not a dancer in a really badly outfitted and styled music video.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should mention that B.A.P does have a very running theme with guns.
Yeah, it's much more darker theme, but
yeah,
which makes it so different. Because again, Korean culture and the country as a whole is very conservative.
Yes.
So this makes it very different. So that's why I think not the fact that because Yosef's in it and Weeks at the time was very popular that brought attention to it. I think it's a complete 180 of what Korea would probably stand for.
Oh yeah, which we will see that. About. We will definitely see that with their debut as well.
Mm-hmm. I also don't like how Yoko's return to Yosef. No disrespect.
I wonder if it was like part of Cube's thing to allow him to be on it, but he couldn't show up in the video.
I think I mentioned before, it might be around the time they were touring something, so he probably just sent in his file of singing, and then that's all he could do.
How did we go from domestic violence to him fighting the cops?
No, right? But also, knowing how TS is, they probably don't have the monies.
True.
They know, and Q probably could sue them if they don't pay Yosa. You know what I'm saying?
It's a hostage situation, that's why.
Yeah, cost of appearance, yeah. So maybe they can only pay enough for his feature.
We're talking two different things. I'm trying to talk about why he's shooting the cops, and you're over here talking about TS.
That's crazy, though. Very dropped in. Oh god, honestly.
Ooh!
Ooh! Look at him go, man!
And he's already been shot like 5 times himself.
I know, that's what I'm saying too. And that's why he's a Marvel character.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen the video all the way through in a while, so a lot of this is shocking me.
Okay. And look, first view of the Matoki.
A few moments later.
Y'all are so sweet. I was trying to figure out why Judy was barking so much. I was like, obviously. And I looked at my camera too. I was like, why's Monica?
Yes, that's why I kept having to check my phone.
Oh, okay. No wonder. I was like, damn, usually you don't. Oh, okay, sure. It's your mom. I shouldn't say anything. Thank you.
Here. Make sure you thank the kiddo too, because I've been collaborating with them to make sure you got a cake.
I'm gonna hug them when they wake up and they're like, what's wrong with you?
Yes.
All right,
They told me mango. Yeah, they told me mango brulee was your favorite, so.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so that was I Remember by Jungkook. I love this song. This is, if you were to ask me what my top 5 K-pop songs or even songs of all time were, I would struggle a little bit, but this one would instantly end up on the list. I recognize that piano intro the second it comes on. And actually, he still performs this song to this day.
Really? I didn't know that.
So when I went and saw him, not for his last tour, but the one before that in Austin, he actually performed it. And I have a video. I don't know if it's very good quality because the lighting was really weird. It was really dark and kind of hard to see him.
It was like in those clubs. Yeah, it was like those clubs.
And I recorded that whole thing because, and Rose recognized the song. She goes, "Oh my God, isn't this your favorite song?" I was like, "Yes."
And just like quickie excitement. Yeah, that's one of the songs I think for its time completely different from you know the general how K-pop is and everything. So that definitely turned heads for a lot of people. It probably helped in the sense of bringing attention to B.A.P.
Oh, agreed. And also, I mean, while we're talking about, and this will come up a lot about like how doing things for the first time, genres and all that, compare that to AJ's debut.
Why I bring an AJ like this?
Because you made me see my paralysis demon, and so now we're gonna bring it up. But
yeah, no. It's funny how even TS as a company ain't that great. But how they kind of maybe allow this to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure TS in a sense does have a visionary of how they want B.A.P to be. That's why they kind of push for that more rock feel, you know, and whereas, you know, Cube way back in like 2008 there, because the poppy K-pop feel is much more popular. So TS taking kind of that risk with Jungkook being a pre-debut solo is kind of a good risk to take, honestly, because it definitely turned a lot of people into being fans of it.
Which is great because, you know, we kind of poke fun at my taste in K-pop all the time.
Yeah.
And like I actually started with a song that we'll do next time called Young, Wild, and Free. And B.A.P like general sound, because we'll have at least two videos that are like, you sure this is B.A.P? But their general sound, like if I had been into K-pop at the same time that you were into it, because remember I was just doing Wonder Girls, and I think then that was way after that was like 2013, 2015 when I got into it. I definitely would have jumped into the scene a lot sooner if I had been introduced to B.A.P.
Yeah, I would think so too. But again, that was kind of the time where you weren't really into K-pop anyways in general. So
and Anne has this rule, guys, that if the group is disbanded, she's not going to introduce me to them because I've missed
what's
everything.
the point?
And then I'm going to be mad that they're disbanded. I think the first time I lectured you was Girls' Generation, their subunit.
Oh yeah, that's right. And I'm just like, they're not existent.
Yeah, it was that song Touch. I'm like, why did you never tell me about them? And you're like, they're not together anymore. Why waste time?
Why waste time?
Which is really funny because now here we are with B.A.P. and it's like, hey, speaking of.
Well, at least they came back, which is great. But also at the time, I was like, B.A.P is definitely your style, but what's the point if they were never going to come back because they were doing their solo things? But thankfully, they actually did come back. So,
which hopefully maybe we'll get lucky that they will maybe come back to the U.S.
That'd be cool. I would love to see them again, and I'm gonna have to rebuy that stupid Matoki light stick. No, I think they're coming up with a new one, right?
They already did it, already released.
Oh, okay, cool. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know.
Let's be real, we'll both end up buying it at some point.
Oh, we always buy something else, man.
I'm already over here trying not to buy the Mingyu and Wanwu thing, and you're like, do it. I'm like, but I already owe you for a whole bunch of photo cards. You're like, do it.
The devil on the shoulder going, do it now.
All right, so are you ready for actual debut this time?
Yeah, real debut. So their debut song is Warrior. They officially debuted on January 26th, as we mentioned before. Warrior featured a focus on hip hop and aggressive line and rap delivery, compared to popular groups at the time such as Big Bang, 21, Girls' Generation, Shiny. B.A.P was delivering something that was new to K-pop, which, again, kind of a fresh feel to it, to the industry. Their debut was 3 years before Monster X would actually release Trespass, so it kind of sets the tone of what quote unquote K-pop could be or should be. You know what I'm saying?
So it's really kind of B.A.P really kind of opened the doors for Monster X to do the darker concepts that they did.
Yeah, because it's really funny because I kind of mentioned when we were doing the Beast retrospective, they did Shock, right? Beast did Shock, which is like their quote unquote dark concept. I even mentioned how Girls' Generation did Run Devil Run, Shiny did Lucifer. Think about it. Their dark thing is cutesy still compared to what Warrior is, what Trespass is. Yeah, exactly. It's still like they're trying to be tough, and you're like, oh, you're so cute. It's kind of like that feeling. So. Warrior's debut also showcased Cello's rapping ability, who at the time was the fastest rapper in mainstream K-pop. I'm not including hip-hop or rap or anything like that because they have their own fastest one where they actually timed it. Later, it was surpassed by RM of BTS, champion of Stray Kids, who's considered to be one of, if not the current fastest rapper, and among others. And fun fact, Cello was actually 15.
Yeah, so he was a year older than Taemin when he debuted. But you'll see when we watch this video, for someone to be 15 years old and to be as talented as Zello is, it's mind-boggling almost. Because at 15, I was not talented at anything.
No, that's what I was about to say too. Like, my kid is currently 16 years old. They're great academically, but musically, like, nowhere close. It's like when you watch the Olympics, you see those gymnasts and everything, those ice skaters, they're like 13, 14, 15, and you're looking at them and you're like, what have I accomplished in life? That's the same feeling. And then we also get one of the first instances of the Matoki, the space rapid mascot of B.A.P. And then also the running joke of this, if you notice when you're watching this music video, is that they're sharing a single bottle of bleach hair dye for debut because they're all blonde.
Which was another weird thing to have at K-pop at the time.
Yeah, it is, because, you know, they have their unique style where they stand out. Let me tell you, when I first listened to Warrior, very into it. Because again, the I Remember got me into it, got me looking into B.A.P. And they obviously had their pre-debut photos. And you can kind of tell, you know, facial features and everything, how they're different. The moment they all turned blonde, all looked the same to me. I hated it. I don't know anyone except for Jungkook. Because, again, his distinct voice is what stands out. And obviously Cello because of his fast rapping. But everyone else, I'm like, don't know who y'all are. Y'all are one person.
I actually had that problem while I was watching this, while doing the script, because I like to watch the videos to, like, mention things. Yeah. And outside of, again, Jungkook and Zello, because Zello has that weird curls that they keep giving him.
He has that perm.
Which I always joke that it's the Sophia Petrillo perm, the old lady from Golden Girls.
Yeah.
I again, because the video's moving so fast, half the time I can't tell who Young Jae is, who Daehyun is, or who Him Chan is. It's those two are the only ones that I can tell.
Yeah, because they start rapping. But it's going to be interesting to see because I haven't seen Warrior in so many years. I wonder if I can actually remember, like, if I can recognize who's who. It's gonna be really interesting to see.
Which I will say, this should be the opposite of Beast, because you hadn't seen a lot of their videos either.
Yeah,
But I don't think you'll get secondhand embarrassment from this one.
I probably won't. It's gonna be me focusing if I can actually remember, like, naming the members, because they were all blonde. Because I remember when I first watched it, even after I got into B.A.P, I looked back, I couldn't even recognize like half of them. So now I'm gonna see if I can do it this time.
It's, if you guys see her mumbling, it's her trying to be like, wait, that's that. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Just ignore me and look at TJ's face. How about that? All right. See, best absolute perfect.
So for the longest time, I thought it was best awesome perfect, but I realized I was getting them mixed up with B.A.P because they're very awesome voice.
Oh, okay.
Which is a dumb name.
Yeah. Look at that curve. Oh, you know what? I can tell that Baekhyun because of his voice, because he often goes higher notes.
It's really weird to kind of see Jungkook this young, because now, first off, he's shredded.
Oh yeah.
Which he has a sleeper build because he wears baggy clothes, but also he doesn't have his chest tattoo yet.
You know what? I now remember now. Whenever they're in their other outfits, these outfits, that's how we remember the members. Because we look at the colors.
I was gonna say, it's the color of the pants.
This is the Power Rangers concept. Oh yeah, the red one's the Jungkook, the blue one is...
Insert going yellow here.
Hey, he would fit right in with blonde hair.
That's true.
Yellow Ranger, yeah.
I like how the Motoki is like the DJ in a lot of their videos.
Oh yeah. Oh, here it comes.
Damn!
Oh god, I love that part so much.
What I like how he teased it. He was like, oh, I'm fast. No, I'm fast.
Yeah.
And he's 15, guys. Okay, that's Young Jay.
I forgot Hentai also had a deeper voice too. That's how I can distinct him as well that time. Not as deep as Jungkook, but it's deeper compared to other members.
No, Jungkook's got a very unique, deep voice.
Yeah, he also has kind of like that rant to it as well.
Yeah.
So that's how you can distinct it.
This is like the best part of the video about to come up.
Oh yeah. Your dance break. Every K-pop music video should have it back then.
It gives me very like J-Lo vibes, because remember J-Lo used to do this in her videos too.
That's right, yeah. The stomp, yeah.
Not to this intensity, but
Yeah.
the fact that they are not just dancing, but they're actually stepping
Yeah.
and breakdancing.
They actually performed that music break, the dance break also on some music shows as well. It's really cool to see.
Oh, that's really cool.
Live. Yeah, but they didn't do it during the tour concerts. They definitely do it during the music shows. Yeah, get it, Yeonjae. Good deal.
The intensity of how they're delivering this is amazing.
I love this part too, in this dance break.
And that is only the first of many times Zella will be shot.
Foreshadowing. I
Right.
love that music video. Yeah, you know what? I can recognize most of them now. Which
Um,
is good.
I love the whistle because I think you mentioned it in one of our earlier episodes that like the whistle is actually part of their fan chant.
Yeah, so they actually had this thing. You can obviously buy the light stick. You can actually buy their official whistle. And part of the fan chant is them blowing the whistle while also chanting their names, which is so cool because when I went to that concert when they tour in the US, some of them actually bought the whistle and I didn't get it because it was constantly out of stock, I think, or I just couldn't pay like do the price for it because I didn't see the use of it at the time. But I realized it was actually a thing. They actually blew the whistles in certain parts of the song. So, which
That's
is
really
crazy.
cool.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
I don't know if you know this, but so they just released their membership kit like last month, I think,
Okay.
which I tried really hard to get it for you, but I guess it wasn't open globally. It was only you had to have a membership, but like I don't know, it was a real confusing thing. But
Okay.
their membership actually came with a whistle,
Oh. But I
which
feel
is
like that would hurt though, because like you're blowing a whistle and you're next to someone and it's gonna hurt your ears though. That's the only downside I can see.
I like that it's a nod to their debut, especially because the theme for their membership kit was like pilots. So it didn't even have anything to
Mm.
do with like Warrior.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if you ever watch B.A.P's music shows, you'll always hear a whistle in many, many songs, which is wild because they still contribute into it. I'm just like, y'all, just stop with the whistle.
So what I'm hearing is when they come to the US, you and I should bring whistles.
Yeah, we should. We should.
Yeah. So the next one, so Anne chose this one.
Mhm.
We aren't following exactly the blind watch rules because this is a deep dive.
Mhm.
But the next song is going to be a complete 180 for B.A.P because we're going to go from that intensity, the hip hop, the rap, to now
Mhm.
we're going to have a vocal track.
Oh yeah.
So what we have is Stop It. It's far less aggressive than Warrior. It also is a very cutesy concept. So this would be B.A.P's Monse Astro's Hide and Seek, because this involves Jungkook chasing after a woman that he sees outside of a restaurant.
Mhm.
The video, I actually messaged Ann this morning and I was like, I forgot how absolutely stupid this music video is.
Mhm.
It's got a whole bunch of comedic moments, especially because Jungkook is possibly dead because I think it's Daehyun hits him with his car because he's so distracted by this professor, and the
Yeah,
whole time he's still chasing after her.
that's hilarious.
It also includes Ghost Gyuk trying to sabotage the two other members who are trying to go after this woman as well.
I mean, which is valid if you really want that girl so bad.
Even that takes till death do us part to a whole new level.
I always joke with my husband. I was like, will you be sad if I pass away? And he was like, yeah, I'll be sad. And then he'll come back to me and he'll be like, well, will you be sad if I pass away? I was like, yeah, obviously I'll be super sad. And he was like, you better be because I'll become a ghost. I'm going to haunt you. I was like, oh shit. He was like, yeah, you can't do nothing.
I don't know how I feel about being haunted by the spirit of Hasbibi.
Oh my God. Yeah, he is going to stop me for the rest of my life and I can't stop it. Oh well.
Oh, I'm so not ready. This is going to be the secondhand embarrassment video. I can feel it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And it's again hilarious because you're used to seeing them powerful, like acting like these bad boys. Now they're acting cutesy. You're just like, y'all are fools.
They act a damn fool in this video, and we'll just have to let everybody see.
Yeah, here we go. All right. Look at this. So much brighter. Like a fool. Not the face.
And the baloney.
Baloney.
And I don't understand Zillow's hat and poncho in this. It's never explained.
That's interesting. Also, blues.
Yeah, and this isn't even the same album. This is the second or third one.
Yeah, I know. Because they did go back to Black Hair, the album after Warriors. So that's interesting. Oh yeah, she can definitely see you. That's gonna be me when Kevin's haunting me.
That's gonna be Kevin while he's haunting you.
Yeah, that's literally Kevin right there. Shit.
I think it's that we have this. I think it's funny we have this cutesy concept, but when we go to the group, they're in like more like dark. They're in like bad boy concepts.
Yeah. Bella what? Like fool.
I don't like the styling that they have Young Jay in.
I know.
I think it might be the way they cut his hair.
It could be.
At least they still all have their eyebrows, unlike Hoshi when he dyed his hair for
Oh yeah.
prime time.
That's true. That's only magic Kevin haunting myself.
Yeah, this is so Kevin.
I know. Oh no.
I told you, I said the same thing this morning.
Oh, the mood. Oh no. How's it been for him trying? Oh.
I don't know why you smiling.
Still got to touch her.
I will say, I don't think I've ever seen Jungkook in a bad look.
Yeah, that's true. They always kind of style him pretty well, especially with his hair.
Yeah, like, I mean, that outfit is ugly, don't get me wrong. And maybe I'm just biased because I do think he is very, very attractive. And he is biased, but like, I don't know, like, not a lot of people could pull off that hair color. As we saw with Young Jay.
Yeah. And also, I mean, that was like 12 years ago, so I think that too is the style of what it was back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
God, that is so different from the other two. It's so stupid.
It's so stupid and encapsulate what it's going to be for my life when my husband dies. I don't want him to die, but if it happens, that's going to be me and him.
Yeah, so that was Stop It, which is, I mean, you guys saw it. You saw exactly what we saw.
Dude, they acting like fools the whole time, all of them.
It's really funny because I was talking to one of my friends at work, who's also a baby, and we both talk about how like we like remember the song, but the song does not portray the video because she's always like, I always forget about it, and then I see the video and I'm like, oh yeah, it's this stupid thing.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what happened because I love Stop It, but I'm watching the music video again and I'm just like, God, did I really like it back then?
Oh, you did.
I really did, apparently. They were acting like fools, but I still loved it. Weird.
This next one is going to be completely different. Completely different from everything that we've seen so far. I'll go ahead and let you take the reins on this one.
Yeah. So it's 1004, which also translates to angel, which is kind of a play on words on that. It directly translates to, if you say it 10-4, it would be chunsa in Korean, but also chunsa is angel. It's the same thing as in Chinese, which is 10-shi, which is angel as well. But, history, language, all that fun stuff. But anyways, 1004 was B.A.P's first win, which is crazy, but it kind of fits that more K-pop sound vibe, so I can see why they won with that. And it's considered to be their most popular and critically acclaimed song. The number 1004 is clever wordplay, which we already talked about. The song is much more emotional and a mature sound compared to what we have previously got from the group, focusing on the heartbreak of losing a true love. The song and the music video dives into a darker aspect that comes with heartbreak. So a little bit of warning, it does touch on subjects of self-harm, taking one's life. And the song also cleverly uses B.A.P Save Me as a background track during key moments in the video, which is another song, is one of their B-sides of the album.
Yes. Which I am all my favorite B.A.P songs don't have videos. All my favorite songs are all
hard. It's hard.
They're all B-sides.
They're all B-sides. Yeah.
Which I love Warrior. I love I Remember, and a couple of the other songs that we have on here. But like, I love Save Me. Save Me is something that I'll have on repeat because it goes really hard. Another one that I really like is Dystopia, which I'm not going to really get into because we'll actually discuss that on a future episode that we have in a couple of weeks. So at first, I was very like, how dare they tease Save Me, and they don't actually do Save Me. But I was talking to Anne this morning, because again, I watch the videos as I do our scripts, which we do a lot of these last minute because we're so busy. And there is one part during the video where they actually use Save Me, and it fits so well, and I think it adds to the emotion of the moment. But when we get to that, I'll point that out.
Yeah, but I also do like how they're integrating the B-sides into it as well. I absolutely love it. Yeah, so most of their B-sides are so good, though. That's the one thing also that I love about B.A.P. I know when their B-sides is just as good as their title tracks, that's when I can fully stand them and call them my old group, which would be like 2PM, B's, 17. I mean, B.A.P was one of my old groups back then, but then when they disbanded, I was like, oh, I guess I have to drop them, so...
Yeah, I'm very much the same way. So, like, it has to be like Monsta X, 17. Red Velvet has some amazing B-sides.
I love their B-sides. Their B-sides are really good, too.
And then Mamamoo has a lot of great B-sides, too.
Yeah.
Which eventually we'll have to break down and do an episode about each of those groups, because we've been doing a lot of boy group focus. We need to bring some girl power into it.
Yeah, I kind of want to do one for Girls' Generation, honestly. I think you'll find that really interesting. With their history, yeah, seriously. And then, of course, we're going to do Wonder Girls, but that's your
Wonder Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, again, fair warning, guys. This song is very mature, does have some very adult themes in it. It's very emotional. When we were talking about the barriers that B.A.P broke, one big one that we brought up was mental health, and how it's such a stigma in Korea and a good chunk of the world to this day, and how like this video and another one that we're going to show really kind of highlight the struggles that come with it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, this one TS did their whole logo, and they did it green because that's when B.A.P was the biggest moneymaker at the time, even though they don't pay them.
We'll also get Not Blonde B.A.P in this too.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So that right there was Save Me.
Yeah, I actually prefer them with like the darker hairs like that than the bright blondes. Oh, I hate you, Him-chan, as a person, but you look so good in this.
I know, it sucked. I was thinking that too.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. 2 main dancers right there. Look at them go.
Which is my other bias and then your bias.
Yeah, Several was actually my record back then. I see the angel wings there too.
Yeah. And how they're broken.
Mm-hmm. I hate how Kim Chan looks so good.
I
So
know.
much.
I will say B.A.P portrays emotions a lot better than a lot of idols do in their songs.
Mm. I forget how their choreography too can be sometimes very intense, even though this is a much more like softer song. The artistry
we'll
of it
see
is
it.
really nice.
We'll see it in a couple of minutes, because I was thinking that too when I was watching this video. I was like, this is very intense for the subject matter.
Mm-hmm. And then being able to hit it live is astounding too.
I'm gonna have to find one of their concert DVDs.
Yeah, you should, or just watch their music shows because it's wonderful. They definitely have their mics on.
This part here.
Yeah. Oh no, don't do it. Yeah, I forgot him trans boys can get that deep too.
So I literally did not notice until today that this is Save Me.
Yeah.
That they actually inserted the actual song into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with the subject matter, with him Chan having his breakdown, it's just so perfectly inserted.
Yeah, definitely.
See, this is dangerous for me because I will have Save Me on repeat for like 3 days straight.
Yeah. Mm. Man, when did he stop? I was gonna say, oh, shit.
I know. I was like, why would you stop at the best part of that song?
The portrayal.
We're gonna, like what we said amongst the X, we're just gonna have to do a listening party episode one time and just do B-sides.
Yeah.
Like, because we missed Honeymoon, Coffee Shop, Rain Sound.
Mm-hmm.
That sound is so eerie in headphones because you can hear the heartbeat.
Oh yeah, no, I hear it too, yeah.
Damn.
I mean, great acting on Him Chan's part though, because you can definitely feel like the emotions you're going through and all that. Like,
well, that's what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Him Chan was the main focus, like the way that each of the members delivered like their pain and heartbreak while singing, like you almost can feel like they're actually like they recently just went through a heartbreak.
Yeah, exactly, which is wild. But again, I think it's because of the song. The reason why they got that first win because of that is just the emotions of it, how beautiful it is. But then also on top of that, the choreography is amazing. And then it's such a nice, repeatable song too. It's like the songs that you can listen to over and over because it's kind of upbeat, but it's a darker theme, and you know it hits all the right marks the right way.
Oh, it really does.
Yeah,
and just again, great acting. That moment with Save Me, like it makes that moment in the video so much more intense.
Definitely. Again,
which is kind of ruined by the. Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was
Fisher
gonna say it's all kind of ruined by the end card when it had Young Jay's "Forever Love." I'm like, no, sir, this is not.
right? Exactly. No, no. Yeah, yeah, I know. Him Chan as a person done bad things. Him as an artist in that, I think, is beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he looks so good. He portrayed the feelings very well. The intensity, like you can just feel it. You're like you almost like seize up. You're like, oh god, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw, but I jumped a little bit when he shot the
Yeah, you did. I
mirror,
saw that.
even though I knew it was coming. And
Yeah.
like, again, Him Chin as a person, horrible, but as an artist, like you feel for him because
Yeah, you definitely do.
most of us have been there at that point. Maybe not as intense as it was for Him Chan, but like we've
Mhm.
all had that heartbreak where we're like, we don't know if we're going to continue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, portrayed very well. Obviously, there was trigger warnings and everything, but that song is one of my absolute favorite ones by
Yeah.
B.A.P.
It's so good.
Mhm.
And the subject matter is so good, and it's handled in such a respectful way.
Yeah, definitely, and not. I mean, they kind of cross the line with the
Right.
shot in the end, but it still portrays very well that everyone can almost relate to it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
very much so.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so next up is Young, Wild, and Free. So this was actually the song that introduced me into B.A.P.
Yes.
Which, before Anne has a chance to say it, this is 100% my vibe. This is exactly my
Mhm.
taste in music.
Mhm.
So this was released on November 16th, 2015, after the lengthy hiatus with the lawsuit. So this is from the Matrix album.
Mhm.
The song shows a big evolution from the group, switching from hip-hop focused sound to more of a rock style.
Mhm.
The song focuses on themes of confidence, freedom, and being able to get up with after falling down. With what B.A.P had to go through with the lawsuit, the song also reflects how them as a group will never go down without a fight, and their bond will be stronger and better than ever. There's also the video also has a nod back to the Warrior music video, but more elevated and mature, showing how much they've grown in the last 4 years. So something I mentioned to Anne in our pre-planning stage is how with each one of our songs, it's not intentionally, but we've almost switched genres each and every time.
Yes.
Which I'm going to go ahead and say it, and you can not prove me wrong. You can say counter argue if you disagree, because
Okay.
you've been in this way longer than me.
Yeah.
I do not think that there is a group as a whole that is as versatile as B.A.P.
Trying to think.
See?
Yeah, it's hard to think about it that way too, because 17 Woozy obviously plays around with so many different themes, but I don't think Woozy himself has ever gone that hard to where B.A.P has gone rock wise.
Right.
The closest rock one we have with 17 would be Rock With You. And I'm just like, yeah, that's pretty rock, you know what I'm saying? But it's not so like heavy rock like what we're used to here in America.
Yeah.
That heavy rock that we're so attuned to. But yeah, I don't think anyone else can take one step further than anything else, because again, it goes back to that dark concept with the other K-pop groups, Beast, Girls' Generation, Shiny. It's still cutesy, but it's not dark like B.A.P.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Let me
Mhm.
to give everybody a little concept. So when most people think of the rock K-pop group,
Mhm.
usually it's Dreamcatcher who comes to mind.
Mm.
This Young, Wild, and Free came out 2 years before Dreamcatcher re-debuted as Dreamcatcher, because they are originally a cutesy
Oh.
group called Minx.
Yes, I remember that now. Yeah.
So again, we're kind of not going into like the band concept, because bands, of course, were a thing at the time.
Mhm.
But for like a group that's not playing instruments, B.A.P really kind of set that precedence again to have somebody else come in and do it better later on.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I definitely agree how there's less groups that have no instruments played to do a rock concept.
We really only have B.A.P, Dreamcatcher, and Pink Fantasy, really.
Yeah, because everyone else, like Day 6, CN Blue, FT Island, they all play instruments. I think the closest one that is a group where they're kind of playing instruments, but they're not playing instruments, like two of the members do, the other two don't, or
Mhm.
one other member doesn't because they're the vocalist. Is Royal Pirates. They're very a they're very much of a not a Nugu group. They're just not as well known as
Yeah.
anyone else. But that's the closest one I was thinking of. I couldn't even think of like groups until you said Dreamcatcher, which is my bad. But I was trying to think of bands honestly because when you say rock,
Yeah.
I automatically think bands. So
Yeah, because if you were to come up to me and say, "Hey, name a K-pop rock band," of course I would do Day 6, Rolling
Mhm.
Quartz.
Mhm.
But if you were to come up to me and be like, "Hey, give me a group that does a rock concept,"
Mhm.
of course, Dreamcatchers are the queen. They really set it on the map, but also
Oh, yeah, they did.
B.A.P as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. They all look really good.
They do that. He almost became my main record just from that.
Mm.
And it's interesting to see like Young Jay in this concept and Daeyeon because they're the cuter members of the group.
Yeah, I know, right? Stella looks completely different in this because again, we're so used to his perk.
Oh yeah. And you can tell he's gotten a lot older too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well,
Still
he'd
the
only be
tallest.
18, I think.
He's still the tallest than everyone else though, which is wild. Went through a huge growth spurt, that's for sure.
I don't know why Young Jay's doing Jungkook's part, but
No, that's Hinchan.
oh, okay, that makes way more sense.
Yeah, that's Hinchan. Yeah, Hinchan also has a deep voice, which I always get surprised at because I keep forgetting he does have a deeper voice.
It's kind of funny because Young Jay in this video almost is like Hyun in Monster X's debut video. Like, why are you here, sir? You're too cute for this.
Yeah, exactly. Gee, you're not.
That line is very powerful considering what they went through.
Mm-hmm, definitely. If only that coffin was TS.
I should put a counter in the corner every time you get mad at TS.
Mm-hmm. You know, later when you have expensive cars driving around you.
Right? That's what all their money went to that TS didn't give them.
Mm-hmm. So I like this scene when they're spray painting each other because it's almost a nod to Warrior because they had those splatter paint and that music video and everything. They're making their own now.
I do like that Young Jay gets a feature here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot about that part.
And then the Rebellion army coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Oop, I accidentally paused it.
All for that.
Which is funny because it looks like Young Jay or Daeyeon has aged down.
Yeah, it kind of did, but I think it's just the way, how people, their facial expressions or the facials usually just change as you get older.
I love this
goes
scene of them
differently.
on the throne. I love the scene of them on the thrones because they literally were like the kings at the time.
Mm-hmm. They were really on top of their game. The TS freaking.
Which we get a new logo for TS right there.
Yeah, I know, right? Because they know what they did.
All right, so that was Young, Wild, and Free. That is also probably one of my favorite B.A.P songs because again, that's very much more my style.
Mm-hmm.
especially considering what was happening at the time. So when this song came out is when we would have gotten Monsta X debuting.
Yes.
But we've mentioned multiple times, I'm much more of like the darker, the rock sound.
Mm-hmm.
Probably has a lot to do with the fact, now that I'm thinking about the fact that I grew up with Tina Turner, who was the queen of rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally
Little
piecing
bit-
together
I mean-
parts of my childhood now.
Also a little bit of kind of like that punk feel too, because in high school, punk was very big. So like we had
Oh, yeah,
Fall Out
definitely.
Boy and whatever else, you know what I'm saying? So
So we had Fall Out Boy, guys. That's all we had, clearly.
Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance.
There you go. No, definitely. Because this would have been our sophomore year of high school. We would have actually literally just started when this video came out. But yeah, and again, they kind of paved the way for like Diamond to become a thing, because they're very much more punk aesthetic than
that's very true.
Yeah. But I love that song. I love that video. Jungkook and Zella look so good in it. Which I have to stop saying because Zella was 18 in that video, so I gotta stop. So the next one is That's My Jam. So this is probably the biggest difference of any song that we have on here, guys. It's upbeat and it's an upbeat and quirky dance track released next year from the album of the same name. So the reason we included this one was not even because it's so different, is because this is actually our theme song for the show.
Yes.
So we actually started off with God of Music as our opening, but they were like, let's not get sued by Pledis.
K.A. Hype.
Which is funny because now we've learned that for the most part, Hybe actually really enjoys when people use their stuff because it brings attention.
Is great marketing scheme for them, honestly. So props to them.
So we decided to go with That's My Jam because we're like, one, TS isn't around, and two, it gets you in the mood for something.
Hypes you up, really. It's much more upbeat, much more happy go feeling. But yeah, this is one of the songs that would hype me up for sure.
Definitely. And then we also get nods to some of their older videos in this as well. And this is actually the video that made Youngjae my bias wrecker.
Oh, interesting. Good to know.
I'm so excited for this. This one is stupid, but not as stupid as Stop It.
Yeah, stupid is like the epitome of being dumb.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, we're gonna fight. So mad. Oh my gosh.
I like that. Get the new album on iTunes. You're a little late there.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Oh, and Jungkook has a tattoo in this one.
That's right. One shot? Yeah. That's a knot.
This is like the hottest I think Jungkook has ever been is in this one scene. And I've seen the man live.
Yeah. I think it's the hair. The hair does
It's the hair and it's the attitude.
Yeah.
I will say, you notice with the last video that Him-chan is aging very quickly compared to the other members.
Yeah. But he looks the same, which is crazy.
This is also the video where I started knowing who everybody was because I noticed that Jungkook has buddy teeth.
Oh, okay.
Jung-up. I called him Jungkook.
Jung-up, yeah. I know, sorry. I thought I called him Jungkook by accident, too. 19. I love how they're doing nods to, like, all the, like, variety shows as well, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's
So this is our outro. So this is what we end every episode on.
Yeah. Still eating banana. Okay.
I don't think we've had like a Jungkook like feature like that yet.
Yeah, no. I think this is one of his first few times that he actually hit a high note like that. He honestly should sing more though. He has a great voice. He can hit
I
it.
heard his most recent comeback, and it was very good.
Yeah, I love that comeback. Nice shot. Yes, because y'all know how to use it like that.
In the work and from our Monster X episode, we love criminals. First off, why would you go in a freezer if you've got no sleeves?
No, really. Ridiculous. Stella's still going at it. I forgot how silly that music video was. That's hilarious.
It's so great.
It was so good, yeah.
I really like when we get to see the groups be kind of goofy with each other. Like I mentioned in Astra when we watched One in a Million.
Oh, yes,
Uh,
yes.
Because that video was just straight stupidity.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
it definitely was, though. But I do like it because, again, multifaceted and everything. You obviously see them being more mature. You see them, being very powerful, have all this confidence, exuding that aura. Then you get them acting like fools, and you're like, yeah, y'all are still boys.
oh yeah. Which
You're not men
2015.
no more, you're boys.
So this was 2016. So Jungkook would have been 26 at the time. But again, boys
That's
don't
our same
age.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. Yeah, it's like that. What's that saying that sometimes people say about like man's immature, like maturity? They actually don't mature until like what 26 or 30 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like they're still boys.
So like we did with the first half, we're gonna go from really happy and really stupid to darker. So this song "Wake Me Up" is actually from their album The Rose, not to be confused with the group The Rose.
Group, by the way.
Great group. Which neither one of us mentioned them when we were talking about rock groups. Shame on us.
Didn't. What's wrong with me?
It's okay. They'll get featured in our band episode.
Oh yeah, no, definitely for sure.
So this one is going to have another trigger warning, guys. So this one focuses very, very heavily on mental health, which this entire album is very much a darker album. It's Where Dystopia comes from, one of my favorite songs. It's very almost metal. There are going to be a lot of disturbing images in this one, but it's very important that we felt that we show this because again, the subject matter is something that's not talked about a lot in Korean culture and K-pop. I also think it's very important because, as we mentioned, Jungkook himself was diagnosed with a social anxiety disorder.
Yes.
And he actually disappeared for a very long time around the termination of all of their contracts. So I think this also is probably a very powerful message from him as well. Which I will suggest everyone listen to his solo stuff, but his first album is also very dark because it does touch a lot on his own personal struggles with mental health.
Which is very brave of him because it's so not talked about. I think the only time they actually not do a deep dive, but be a little bit more open about mental health in general is when Shiny Jonghyun passed away. And that's when people realize, oh, that is an issue. But then when, time passed, people forget, it's not as talked about anymore, then we had like this kind of long line of consistent of actors, actresses, artists in general that sadly pass away way too young because of mental health issues and bullying and all these things. We can do this whole episode about this later on, but it's kind of bringing to the fact how B.A.P as a group did so great, and I'm sure Jungkook is a huge advocate for it, about mental health, how it should be talked about a little bit more, like how Sequan now is more open about it ever
Right.
since Moonbin passing away. I do want to know about Wake Me Up because again, this is like kind of a big gap and probably their last album before they left TS because the contract has ended. We mentioned how Jungkook was having anxiety of it. So when you watch the live music shows of it, you see that Jungkook would not be in like the first half of it. He doesn't pop up until it's his line and then he stayed for the rest of the group. This is when they actually dub him Chan being the official leader of B.A.P. He actually gave up his leader rights,
Right.
quote unquote rights, right, to him Chan to give him a little bit more responsibility because of his anxiety, that sort of thing. And it definitely shows when you see the live music videos or live music shows. So
Yeah, which is kind of sad because when it comes to like dads in K-pop, like Jungkook is someone who I think about, and we'll see it in their most recent comeback as well. Like, and you see it in the documentary a little bit, the little bits that I've seen on Twitter. I haven't actually watched the documentary, but like, even though there's not as big of a gap between him and like the older members, like he is such the dad of the group. So I can only imagine how hard it was for him to be like, I have to step away. Like I have to over to him Chan because I'm in the right headspace to do it. And again, like you said when earlier, a couple minutes ago, it's very, very brave of him to do something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, Jungkook pretty much gives that same vibe as we mentioned in the beginning of the last episode, where JB taking over, getting the rights back for GOT7. Same thing with S Coops of 17, taking
Correct.
over and taking care of his members, even though he was even on hiatus because of his injuries, mental health, that sort of thing too. He still makes sure to take care of his members. Yeah. So leaders of K-pop groups do hold a lot of responsibility too. So it's a different type of pressure, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I wonder if part of it was the lawsuit and like you felt like he failed the boys because
yeah, I can kind of see that as well.
We could speculate all day, but
oh yeah, but I can feel a sense of responsibility. I mean, I'm pretty sure JB is super ecstatic to get that back. Get the rights back of GOT7 and everything. So yeah. I'm so tired of singing this.
would I edit out that logo every time?
Yeah. Just put a middle finger up there. Totally unrelated, but Zello always looks good in pink hair.
Oh, agreed. I like how Zello slowed down to meet the vibe of the song.
I also like how they're portraying the different types of mental illnesses that is happening. It's not just one note, you know what I'm saying? It's all the different aspects. Or as much as they can put into it.
Yeah, because you see depression, schizophrenia.
I also like how him Chan in this, even though usually he has a deeper voice, he's able to sing in a little bit higher tone too.
Right.
It fits in much more better. Oh, this whole scene gave me anxiety right there, which was cutting the vegetables. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then the maggots and stuff. I like with this young lady here and how she's kind of, her portrayal is kind of the whole thing of calling out medical professionals who think that what they should do is just throw medicine pills at
Right. Yeah.
And how, like, no, there are other things that need to take place versus just
definitely.
medicating.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this one here.
Yeah, this is so powerful.
Yeah. You definitely need to speak more out about it. Look at that. Desperation of that it needs to be talked out more.
And then this part where he gets frustrated is so relevant.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, it's easy for people to turn a blind eye because they're so scared to talk about it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we'll do a separate episode about it.
And I like that my senses are coming back to me, follow me. And then you have B.A.P kind of coming out as the emotion revolution, leading these people into fighting against the stigma.
Yeah. I also kind of like that scene when they were gathering around looking at the TVs.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously Stello talking about it. And then that's when they realize, oh yeah, someone we idolize is talking about it.
Exactly.
And now we all should talk about it, yeah.
Which it's sad that we have to wait for someone famous to be the one to say it.
Yeah, exactly. But society as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, props to B.A.P for bringing all this to light, honestly.
Yeah.
And taking that risk is the biggest thing.
Yeah, because that could have been a career ender for them instantly. Like,
oh yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty sure they looked at their contracts. They're like, we're about to leave. It's fine.
Yeah. I do like that the symbolism of the rose, because of course it's a nod to the album.
Yes.
But me personally, I see it as I see it as a symbolism to the fact that we lose so many people to these issues because they're too afraid to speak up. Because one of the first things you do at a funeral, if you're at the gravesite, is you put a rose on the casket.
Yes.
So it's just, as someone who does struggle with anxiety and depression, I've learned to like get to that point where I've never gotten that bad, like we see with Wake Me Up and with 10:04. And you've known, because you and I have had deep conversations
yeah, definitely
about it. And like being able to speak up and finding someone who you can talk to about these issues really does make a difference.
Yeah,
and
it really does.
We weren't getting that during that time, because that was like mid 2010s. I mean, even today, we're in 2025, and it's still something that's not very talked about.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks too, because now, well, compared to back then, social media is much more bigger now, much more accessible.
Yeah.
So it's easy to kind of fall into that facade of everything is a-okay, but then also you should use this platform too to connect to people and talk about this a little bit more. It should be more talked about, but then when it comes down to it, American healthcare ain't that great. Yeah, so
but again,
it's hard.
We also
it's hard.
But again, we also do have the young lady who is trying to mask her schizophrenia with pills, and how her body is rejecting it, which I, again, think is a very powerful message of there are other things that can be done besides just prescribing somebody medication to cover the fact.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, having people who love you, being surrounded by that also helps too. But again, it's hard when you want to talk about it, and then your friend or whoever you're talking to just kind of brush it off. That's
That's one of the worst feelings in the world.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, but good job, B.A.P. That's one of my, I think when I first saw it, I think I did cry in a sense of like, oh, I'm so proud of them for bringing this up type of thing. Not crying knowing that that's probably their last album. So, that's under TS.
I always do get a little emotional during the emotion revolution thing, because again, it's we mostly grew up in Texas. I know you came from California to Texas.
Yeah.
But especially here in the South, especially as a male, we are told so often to suppress our emotions.
Yeah.
And so
which
that
is hard.
it is hard. And you know, we could continue going on about this for 2 hours, but people should understand that it is okay to speak up, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And always reach out. I mean, there will be someone that's listening. It doesn't have to be someone you're close to if you don't feel comfortable or you know how they're going to react to it. Just talk to someone.
Yeah, especially because we live in such a digital age now that it's really easy to find groups. I mean, I praise my 17 San Antonio Discord group all the time because of the fact that, as we've discussed before, San Antonio really sucks with sexism in the community. And so to be able to find a group of people who literally we got together to give out freebies, and we still talk to this day, there's a group out there for everybody.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just gotta search out a little bit more.
All right, so I'm going to let you take this one because now we're going to do a whole nother 180.
Oh, no, right? Exactly. Just a mixed bag of emotions. All right, so this is the first song that they came out under Bang and Jun and You and Moon.
I can't believe that you can remember that because I always say Bang and Young and B.A.P. They're B.A.P. They will forever be B.A.P.
Yeah, exactly, which is pretty much all of their last names. Like Jungkook's last name, Jungkook, and then Yeonjae, and then Daehyun. I probably mixed up the order. My bad, because Moon is Jungkook. He is now technically the MAC name. Oh my god.
You is Young. It's Jungkook, Jungkook, Daehyun, and Yeonjae.
Whatever. Either way, it's all their last names, and they're still B.A.P. So this is their first comeback as under a new group name, but we still dub them as B.A.P. under Ma Entertainment, and it's called Gone. And this is like what I would consider kind of a closure for babies without it being like a full closure, because I think they still want to continue and they're waiting for Zello to come back out of the military.
Which, let's talk about how mean they were to us, because before this we got the single Farewell.
Oh yes, that's right.
And then the album is called Curtain Call, and then they come out with Gone. And so like we're all excited because here they come. And then we're like, wait, what do you mean this is it? What do you mean this is the end? And then they literally said in an interview, no, we're waiting for Zello to come out, and then we can do more stuff. And we're like, look, guys, you're already giving us whiplash by changing genres every time we listen to a song,
right?
And now
emotional damage. That's literally what it is. But no, I do love this album, the concept of this whole thing, because it really does give us that closure after they had that gap of hiatus. And when the members themselves did their own solo things, like Zello did Street Man Fighter, Jungkook went on to Peak Time, Jungkook went solo, other ones, I don't know what else they did, but those were like kind of the forefront of them where they're kind of like, oh, B.A.P is still there, but not really. So definitely so many emotions in this music video. You get that sense of like you've been with them for so long as a fan, and then you're seeing them grown up to who they are now, and then coming back together. It's like GOT7 in a sense for me, where they have their own sense of styles. They come together, they make this beautiful song, beautiful album, beautiful music video too, and it's very emotional as a longtime fan.
Well, and I can counteract that a little bit, kind of argue that a little bit, because I've only been a fan for like 2.5 years. And I even told you that when I watch this video, I get emotional too. And I think from my perspective is one, that it's a happy thing for me because it's a group that I got into post disbandment. Yeah. And so like, oh my God, I get to see some new stuff, but also it's great to see them flourish after what we know they went through with TS, and how we could have had B.A.P this entire time. They could have been like Shiny. They could have been like one of those groups who is celebrating their 15th, 18th anniversary. But because of greed, we got shafted of that. And then here comes Ma Entertainment to save the day. And this song in this video is just, it's so great. They're grown up. There will be emotions.
There'll be a lot of emotions. I don't have tissues with me, so here we go.
It's also a much wider concept than what we've got.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, what do you mean I pay? Deuces.
And it's kind of interesting because this is the first video where we can see that they've clearly grown up and they've aged.
Yeah, I know, right? As more adults, not the cutesy concepts that they're probably doing.
That sign is what gets me almost every time.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we're talking, so it distracted me. And this is so cute.
Me. Hey.
I love the dad tax where he's like, I'll put mine back, but I'm getting some of this.
Yeah. Looking around. See, Jungkook needs to sing more like that. He does have a good voice.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was kind of overshadowed when he was in B.A.P.
Well, you had such strong vocalists, though. I mean, as we mentioned, it's so hard with multiple members for everyone to get proper time.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't notice it was Matoki was written on the door.
Oh, we'll go back later. Good, I didn't cry this time.
I know. I held it in.
Alright,
I was like, nope, don't do it.
All right, where's that Matoki door you were talking about? Where was it?
Let me find it.
Oh, no, I think I found it. You're at the gas station. Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. I like this song because, as we've mentioned, B.A.P is so good about displaying emotion and conveying it.
Mhm.
And, for them, this is literally a re-debut.
Yeah.
And so you have moments when they're like, hey, is it Young Jae's part coming up?
Mhm.
And Young Jae's like, oh, I hope it's good. And they're encouraging him to oh, give us a taste. That way we can hear it. And that's probably something he was literally going through mentally of what if it's not as good? What if, what if our fans aren't still there? And then them going to the theater and actually checking it out and looking around, because this had to have been scary for them. I mean, think about it. You were a huge thing back in the early 2010s. And then because of mismanagement, you had to disband. I'm sure for them, it was scary to come back not knowing if we would all still be there, which I think Jungkook said in an interview, he was actually overwhelmed by the amount of support that they got and how everybody was so excited to see them come back.
Yeah, and I think it also helped how Jungkook and Cello, they kind of did self promo, like for themselves as soloists, but also kind of almost bringing the B.A.P name back as well. And
Yeah.
also on top of that, with the fact that maybe they were thinking about coming back with Him-chan, but then that sexual assault allegations came out. So that obviously they're down one member, but they're also down with another member with their Magne Zello. So now it's kind of like, well, crap. There's kind of like bad light to it because of the
Yeah.
allegations. So I'm sure that kind of adds on to the anxiety of it as well. But yeah, I do love how when they were in that theater walking around, you can kind of tell they see all these empty seats and they're like, wow, can we really fill all these spots in here too? And then them taking it on stage, being confident. Crap, brain fart. I was going so great.
I will say they did it because I've seen the pictures from them on their tours, and that house is absolutely packed.
It's filled. It's filled. Yeah, so I know you didn't watch much of the documentary,
Yeah.
but they did put into light about how in the beginning when they were doing their own thing and their own companies, when they're trying to plan on when to meet up, they did talk a lot about, is this going to work out? There's so much anxiety. There's, like schedules are busy. How
Yeah.
are we even going to be able to do this? Because they're not all under one company anymore. So, I mean, it definitely worked out for them. It touched a lot of like baby's heart and everything like that. So it's a good, honestly, if they just ended it like that, me as a baby would be completely satisfied by it. But then they played with
Yeah.
my emotions and they're like, we're coming back. And I went, not cool.
Yeah. The one scene that I have seen from the documentary is when they're in the studio, and I can't remember if they were recording Gone or if it was Farewell.
Mm-hmm.
And Jungkook just loses it. Like,
Yeah.
he's so happy to have his boys back. He's so proud of them.
Mm-hmm.
And like he just goes into full on dad mode and he's just like crying because again, it's probably that thing of like, are we going to be able to do this? Because think about, this has been a trend that's come back a lot recently of where these older groups that have disbanded or whatever are suddenly coming back.
Yes.
But you got to think about it as far as, yes, B.A.P is very popular, but do they hold the same level as like 2NE1? When 2NE1 came back, that was a cultural phenomenon.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And I'm like, it needs to keep going because 21 can definitely use this to their advantage because they could not tour as easily to like America, right? Because again, K-pop was not a huge thing. They can take this to their advantage. Same thing with like Big Bang. I know G-Dragon had a lot of anxiety coming back as well. So like for him to come up with a song, then bring Taeyeon and Daesun in it as well is phenomenal. Then on top of that, you have they're opening the door for T.O.P to come back too. But then T.O.P wanted to be out of the spotlight, but then he is kind of not forcing himself, kind of giving him that courage to be in Squid Games and then doing these interviews. And now it's popping on my For You page on TikTok where Netflix is now releasing T.O.P doing promo videos. And you can tell in his eyes, he's a little bit have that anxiety in it, but you can tell he wants to do this. Like he was so excited to be part of something again.
Right. Yeah, no, totally. And it's great to see it now because as you mentioned in, I think it was the Astro episode, how like he wasn't in any of the promos because Netflix was probably afraid of, because of the backlash that it could ruin the show.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess I can see B.A.P's anxiety as far as coming back because it's one thing to be debuting, but now they're competing with some of the biggest names in the entire world, not even just the K-pop industry, but I mean, they're competing with BTS, 17, Blackpink. Can't think of another group off the top of my head, but I mean, just
but so many of them. There's so many of them. And then how much K-pop as a genre has changed compared to when they last came out with Wake Me Up. That already itself has already break so many barriers, but also now they're coming back and they're like, oh God, the music trend in K-pop has changed so much. How can we come back with a sound that's us, but also fits into that K-pop genre?
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, around this time when they came back is when we were getting like, again, people are now speaking out a lot more.
Mhm.
So think of like Maestro by 17, where they were literally giving a middle finger to the industry for saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, you guys aren't actually talented. The computers do all the work."
Yeah.
So I'm happy they're back. I'm hoping we'll get more. I know that Zillow has said that he will be releasing another album when he gets out, but he did just have a tragedy in his family, so I know he's a little MIA at the moment.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping that once he does his thing, because I know their B.A.P is still touring, but also Jungup is also doing his stuff for Peter.
Mhm.
So hopefully we'll get more, and I really hope, not even for the Bingo Square, I do hope that we get them here.
Mm. I mean, it'd be really cool because then you also kind of think about how they're going to perform the older B.A.P songs at the same time. But I
Yeah.
would love to see how Zellow's going to mesh well with this new sound they're coming up with as Bang and Yoon and Jun and Moon.
You were close.
Probably
You got it
out of order.
backwards that time.
Oh my god, it's so hard.
I'm actually wondering if maybe we'll get lucky enough, and when Zellow's back, maybe they can actually get the rights to their old name. But I don't know. There's rumors going around that TS is coming back under a different name. Um, but
I'm ready to fight them again.
I also
arson
think
in Korea. Runs away.
I also think it'd be really cool if they do get to come to America, because yes, we'll get something, but they will also get to see this entire new generation that has discovered them while they were gone. And I think that would be just such a great moment for them. Though I have a feeling like those tickets are going to be a bloodbath.
Probably. And then it'll be interesting to see, because I know I have a lot of older K-pop fans who were like second gen with me and everything, but then they obviously fell off the bandwagon. But then suddenly now they're like, oh crap, like B.A.P is back, Big Bang is back. It's kind of like, the friends that you've made, or at least the friends that I made way back then. We still talk to each other, but it won't be like more K-pop related. It's just like life related type things. And then suddenly they're like, oh my god, Big Bang is back, and it's like going down memory lane as well. So
we're kind of in, I would say, kind of the K-pop renaissance, because remember when we were kids, Disney went through their renaissance where like
that's right, yeah,
where like things weren't doing so well, and then they had the renaissance, which brought Disney back up to the where they are. And I'm not one of those people who is on Twitter being like, K-pop got boring after 2017. No, that's not what I'm saying. Not what I'm saying. Don't come for me. I just think that we're seeing a resurgence of these old groups, and it's bringing a lot of people back to K-pop.
Which is really cool. It's kind of like reliving your childhood in a sense, because K-pop wasn't cool back then, but now look how much it has grown, right? It's global. It's everywhere, and they're breaking into American like market, that sort of thing. So it's definitely for them a great marketing ploy, but it's also great for us as fans that we get the older groups back as well, and then them coming out with like new songs, bring up the oldies. It's a win-win for all around, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. JYP, get the girls back together. That's all I'm gonna say.
Go to the JYP's solo concert in LA and just hold up a sign, be like, girls.
Yes. Which now I have a feeling this is going to turn into arson on TS's building, us going over to JYPE and being like, give us the girls.
Just holding a sign like a silent protest, but at least we will not burn down that building. We still like a lot of JYP artists.
Yes. But this was so much fun. I have not gotten you to cry on camera yet, and I'm so mad about that.
Man, I don't know what will take me to cry now that I think about it. So it's gonna be harder, especially since it's kind of like when it's like, when we watch back through the older videos, I'm not feeling the feelings. I'm noticing small details I've missed before.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Maybe try harder. I like challenge accepted.
She just said, get good. All right. So now we're going to do Big Bang.
Yeah, for sure. The Big Bang G-Dragon performances for Mama the last year, always makes me cry no matter what. I think 21's getting up there too, but I don't watch the 21 performances as much as I have with Big Bang so far.
I wonder if we're actually going to get an actual 21 comeback, like new music, because I know that Ballum's health is not the greatest.
It's not the greatest. I don't think they will, honestly, and I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Them having that reunion stage show at the award show is good enough for me because, I mean, Ballum is killing it just being on stage, but she should just take a break. But I'm glad she managed to have kind of her dream came true where the group got back together once again, because during the Queendom when she competed, the song that she did in dedication of 21 and her journey made me cry, and you can definitely tell she wants the group to get back together. So her being able to get that is good enough for me. So
all right, well, thank you guys for celebrating Anne's birthday with me. I mean, it's not for another 3 days, but you know what I mean. Also, I hope you guys really enjoyed listening to B.A.P. If you're a new person, let us know what you think. Maybe give us your thoughts as far as what B.A.P. did to change K-pop. Even if you want to talk about the tougher subjects, we're completely open to talk about that. If you're a returning baby, just talk to us in general. Let us know. Like, are you ready for more music? Which of these songs was your greatest? What should we do for part 2? Maybe,
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah, because B.A.P. has done so much, and I mean, welcome back, babies. The Mitokis will live again.
I hate that fandom name so much.
But it stands for, what's it stand for? Baby always behind you. There we go. Baby always behind you.
I prefer the evil space bunnies to that crap.
Well, it'll be interesting because, will B.A.P. actually use their name again and then keep the fandom name, or are they just gonna come up with a new fandom name like what Highlight/Beast did, so.
I think they still use the same fandom name.
Okay. Good to know. You're stuck with it then.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Hopefully, next time you see us, we're not sitting in a Korean prison, Anne. Bye.
흥건해진 밤이 보는 길 봐 우리 뿐인